everyone, welcome back to Gracie Mae's Tarot. So today we have a video that was requested by a subscriber. This is what is your future spouse's love language. So this is going to be more so how they express their love towards you after you're married. I have a separate video that is how will your future spouse pursue you romantically once they're getting to know you and you're dating and all that good stuff. I'll leave that video linked in the description box, but this is just going to be, how they express their affection towards you after you're married. So we have 3 groups to choose from today. For pile 1 here, we have the Sailor Mars character. For pile 2, we have Sailor Jupiter. And for pile 3, we actually have Queen Serenity. Okay, so this is Sailor Moon once she's queen in the future. All right, so the timestamps are listed below in the description box. If you need to pause the video and meditate on the groups, feel free to do so. Otherwise, though, I'll see you guys in your reading. Hey pile 1, so if you chose Sailor Mars, you're in the right place. So Sailor Mars, if you are a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, that could be confirmation that you selected the right group, or that could be your future spouse's energy, but definitely a very headstrong, kind of impulsive sometimes energy, someone who is very direct, very blunt, someone who's very clear about how they feel, but also someone who can be sometimes maybe a little bit intimidating to those who don't know them. Sailor Mars can sometimes come off as a bit gruff, or maybe even like a little bit antagonistic, in terms of her relationship with Sailor Moon. Sometimes she's, like she teases her a lot and stuff like that. But she's a really good friend. Like she's very loyal, very protective over the people that she loves. And you start to understand like all that teasing is just her way of being affectionate. So yeah, there could be a little bit of an energy of that, or it could be that your future spouse just really admires how tough and how strong you are, and that's something that, really makes them romantically interested in you. So anyway, we're doing things a little bit differently today, pile 1. We're going to look at your oracle cards first, and then we'll shuffle your tarot on camera. So we have sensuality, your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. Then we have pond. We have aloof, seek non-attachment. We have empowerment. The determination of your mind and soul will guide you towards unleashing your inner power. And we have gifts. So I would actually like to start with this aloof card here in the center. I really feel like your future spouse does a great job of understanding when you need space and respecting your independence. And I feel like they really view you in this Sailor Mars energy. Like they love how resilient and strong you are, like I feel like pile 1, you've been through quite a lot in your life, and your future spouse kind of has this energy of really admiring you. Like just there's so much respect here, and this feels like a power couple dynamic where you guys both equally bring something meaningful to the table, and there's so much mutual respect for one another, and you each have your own lanes where you succeed. And so there's really sort of this energy of being each other's biggest cheerleaders, because I feel like you guys both show up like this. I feel like you guys are both very supportive, and I feel like you really cheer each other on, and like your future spouse is your biggest fan, and you are their biggest fan as well, because I feel like you guys are both like very busy, very hardworking, very motivated, goal-oriented people, and you need someone who's gonna add support to your life, right? You need someone who's gonna help you feel peaceful when you're at home and you actually have a chance to relax, not someone who's gonna make your life harder and more difficult, or, unnecessarily dramatic. And so it feels like there's just this wonderful energy of support when you need it, and respecting each other's independence, and, sometimes that need for space. So I think that's really great. And then with this empowerment card, I feel like that picks up on that energy that we were just talking about of really hyping each other up, you know. It feels like, and it feels like you do it, it feels like you and your future spouse both kind of have this way of showing each other affection, but it feels like it's done in a way where it's not just with words, you know, because I'm not really picking up on words of affirmation as being a love language here. It feels more like I'm going to provide you with the things that you need so you can succeed. So sometimes that's providing you the space that you need to get what you need to get done, and me like leaving you alone, right? Sometimes that's me buying you things that are going to help you succeed. So for example, like if you were like me and you had a tarot card channel, right? Maybe your future spouse buys you a new tarot deck, or they buy you some crystals, you know, for like pile selection, you know, or maybe they build you a nice table and where you can film, you know, your readings from, or they create a nice quiet space in the home where you can film your readings. You know, obviously that's just an example, like apply that as it would show up in your own life. But, you know, when they give you something, it's something that's going to be meaningful and helpful to you in terms of your goals. Like that's what it feels like. Because it feels like to me like that's what matters most to you is success. And they want to help assist you in any way that they can. And it feels like sometimes that's giving you the gift of space. And then like I said, sometimes that's giving you the tools that you need to succeed. But I also think, you know, they just put a lot of effort and they're very thoughtful and what they buy you, and they want what they're buying you to help you in some way. You know, they want it to be meaningful. They don't want it to be like, here, I spent a lot of money on you. You know, like they want you to know that they put careful thought into it. Yeah, and I think that they're really just great at giving gifts, you know. They definitely buy you things that you didn't even know that you needed until you have it and you're like, how did I live without this? Now, with the pawn card here, I do feel like there's a little bit of, like you guys understand each other's needs really well because those needs are reflected back. You know, like there's a little bit of mirroring going on here, like you see your own reflection in the pond kind of thing. And pond, we think water, we think emotion. So there's just this understanding of what you need because some of their needs are the same as yours. You know, I think you guys are kind of cut from the same cloth, you know, like you just get each other without even having to say it. Like I feel like if you needed space, you wouldn't even need to say it. They could just tell from the look on your face. You know, they would just pick up on that energy because they're the same way. So I feel like in terms of like nonverbal behavior communication, just reading the energy in the room, like they would be really great at figuring out this is what she needs or he needs, or, you know, whatever your pronoun is. This is what they need, so I'm gonna give it to them. You know, with this gifts card, I feel like your future spouse is very giving just across the board in general. Like they want to give you what you need to make you happy, you know? And it's not that your happiness is their responsibility, but we're talking about how they express their love for you, right? Now, with sensuality here, again, I think of this energy of having freedom, like the freedom to dance, the freedom to laugh, the freedom to play. Like they just want you to feel like you can be yourself. They would just want you to feel like you can be authentically you. And so they want you to be comfortable. And so whatever they can do to make you feel comfortable, they're willing to do it. So I think that extends into the physical component of your relationship, you know, like whatever your needs would be physically, I think they would try to meet those needs. You know, I think that they're willing to listen, they're willing to be, you know, they're willing to find some sort of compromise if that's needed. Whatever the case may be, I'm trying to keep this PG. But I think that, yeah, anything you need in terms of physical satisfaction. I think they are willing to give that to you. You know, I think in terms of the physicality of your relationship, it really feels like you guys are on the same page, okay? Very sensual. So, you like to see that in a love reading, right? And you did pick Sailor Mars, so this is going to be fiery. This is going to be passionate, right? And even just with the repeating colors here, you know, that sacral energy, it just feels like they're very in tune with you. You know, they're in tune with what you need, both like intellectually, emotionally, physically. Like they just pick up on your energy really well. Yes. It doesn't feel like you have to say a whole lot to them. And honestly, they may not even really be big talkers, because to me it kind of feels like they would rather show you or give you than just say it. You know, this is a person of action. This isn't really a person of words. Okay, so let's get into your tarot now. And I did want this to be a shorter reading because I want to have, my goal for September is to have a mix. So I'm not gonna go into great detail. All right, pile 1, future spouse's love language. Is there anything that we need to know, please, Spirit, that I haven't already said? Pile 1's future spouse's higher self. You're also welcome to come through. Sorry, I was laughing at my shuffling there for a second. 10 of Pentacles. Okay, that's kind of funny, because I feel like your future spouse's higher self is like, please let them know that I'm really financially successful and abundant and I can provide for them and they can just do what they want to do because I got this. That's what it feels like. 10 of Wands, yeah. They're like, I'll do the heavy lifting, like, you know, they can just work and follow their passion and do whatever they want to do. Yeah, they don't even have to work if they don't want to, but I know they like to keep busy. Like, that's what they're telling me. With 10 of Wands here, yeah, like they are willing to take on the bulk of the financial responsibility, like paying the bills, and your money is fun money, go do whatever. That's like what they're telling me. And then with the Empress card here, she is the energy of receiving. Like she is divine, feminine, receptive, receive blessings, you know, and this ability to as well, like if you're someone who has like a creative passion project and you wish that you could just devote all your time to that and you didn't have to work your boring 9 to 5 or whatever it is that else you're having to do to pay your bills, maybe once you marry this person, you're able to just stop doing that job that you don't like and you're able to devote your time to that creative passion project. Or if you haven't started it yet and you have wanted to but you don't have the time, you're able to do that once you're married because your future spouse is so supportive of that. And also with the Empress card, I just think of someone being a bit spoiled, a bit taken care of, and even someone, and I say that because in the Kawaii, I think it's not in the Kawaii Tarot deck. What deck is it? I think it's in my Cirque du Tarot deck. There's an Empress card where she's like lounging on this couch and like everyone's running around her trying to like fetch her things, and she has like all these like delicious desserts and things surrounding her, and there's all these bunnies to symbolize fertility, and she's just a queen. She's a queen of queens, right? Like, who is more pampered and taken care of than the queen of queens? She's the Empress. Like, this is someone who's made it, right? And so if you like that, if you want someone to spoil you a little bit and take care of you a little bit, well, this is a good group. But I also, again, like, remember how I said in the beginning, like, this is power couple energy. Like, you each have your own lanes. It's not like you're not bringing anything to the table, pile 1. You absolutely are. But I think in terms of, like, finances, it feels like your future spouse is really well off, is what I'm trying to say. And it feels like they enjoy treating you to really nice things. Again, it's not just going to be throwing money at you. It's going to be things that are really thoughtful and helpful to you. Also with the Empress card, as a side note, like if you are really wanting children or you've always wanted a big family, the Empress card could be confirmation of that. That's definitely not going to be for everyone, but if that's something that you're wanting, yay for you. Okay, pile 1, let's end your reading now with a message from your future spouse's higher self. What do they want you to know at the time of you watching this reading? We have, the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. It feels like maybe you're not too far off from meeting your future spouse, or you're now on the right path towards meeting them. So that's exciting with this message here. But pile 1, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to simply watch the ads. I will see you guys in my next one. Again, thank you for letting me do this reading for you. Take care, pile 1. Hey pile 2, if you chose Sailor Jupiter, you are in the right place. So now that I'm seeing the spread of your oracle cards in front of me, we are doing things differently today. We're looking at your oracle first, and then we'll shuffle your tarot on camera. But now that I'm seeing all the cards laid out, the fact that you chose Sailor Jupiter is kind of amazing to me. So Sailor Jupiter is very much like, even though she's strong and she's tough and she's like physically bigger than like Sailor Moon or Sailor Mars, Sailor Venus, or Sailor Mercury, but even though she looks like big and tough and strong, she's so very feminine and she's very nurturing and she's like the best cook. I think one of her dreams is to open up like a sweet shop, a bakery, or a flower shop or something like that. She's really great at growing plants, you know, great at gardening. She can do crafts and embroidery, like all of the typical like feminine, domestic kind of things. She is great at it, okay? And so it feels like to me that's very important to your future spouse, like creating this sense of home and coziness is their like main deal, okay? Now, I'm not saying that your future spouse is going to be able to do all of those things, right? Like, I'm not saying they knit and they're a great cook and they have a green thumb and, you know, like I'm not saying they can do all of those things, but this is the type of person who can make like homemade jam. You know what I mean? Like they're the type of person who would bake you the most delicious birthday cake ever. You know, like those types of things. You know, they could be like a super clean and tidy, organized person, but it feels like they just create this really beautiful home environment, and that is how they express their love towards you, by creating this beautiful home, okay? They could also be really talented at interior design. I could see that being a thing as well, because it feels like they're quite stylish. Because Sailor Jupiter, she also has like these cute rose earrings that she's known for. So that could also just be a side note about your future spouse, is that they have their own sense of style. And also with Jupiter energy, obviously that could point towards Sagittarius, but I just think in general, you know, your future spouse tries to create this sort of cozy, nurturing, warm environment for you. You know, like if you come home from work and you've had a really tough day, you come home to like paradise, you know, like they have made sure that the home is just the most comfortable place. There's a lot of Cancerian energy here as well. Like, you know, I have my moon in the 4th house, so like I relate a lot to this energy, like of just wanting emotionally to need a safe space, a safe haven. So let's read out your oracle. You have safe home, and even just the repeating green right here, like the heart chakra. Like, it just feels so, so loving. But anyway, we have safe home. I cast this circle round about, safety now is beyond doubt. We have innocence, look through fresh eyes. We have nurture, again with the green. Nurturing your inner child supplies you with innocent joy of living. We have doll, we have romance, and we have family. So it does feel like your future spouse is someone who makes you feel very safe and secure. This is someone who's reliable, someone who's dependable. This is someone who would have a love language that is acts of service, as well as quality time, because creating a home environment isn't just about doing things for you around the house and creating a beautiful space and all of this. It's also about creating memories, okay, and creating this sense of family and togetherness. And so, you know, it's more than just, okay, I've cooked you this beautiful meal. It's that I've set this beautiful table and we have a tradition where we always cook this on this holiday, and you know, like we all come together and we have this beautiful meal, and then maybe we play charades after dinner, or we watch you know, like our favorite movie, and then we talk about it. You know, it just feels like you create memories within the home. Like there's traditions and holidays that are really important. I could see your future spouse really enjoying decorating for the holidays and making a big deal out of birthdays and stuff like that. You know, just finding reasons to celebrate. And again, like bringing people together and making memories with one another. It also feels like if you're wanting children, this is a great pile for you, because we do have family here. And with this innocence, look through fresh eyes. Like if it feels like your future spouse is a real kid at heart, and it feels like they would make a great parent, and it feels like a lot of these memories that we're talking about would be created with the whole family, you know? And now if you're not wanting children, don't worry, this can still be your pile, but there's just this sense of me and you together always, you know, just this feeling of we really, it's kind of just this feeling of like having a true home, a true sense of belonging, like this is our place in the world. And as crazy as things get out, as crazy as things can be in the outside world, and as hectic as our jobs can be, you know, when we come home at the end of the day, we have this beautiful, peaceful space that we have cultivated, you know, and it just feels like they're very nurturing, you know, like there could be like some mom or dad vibes to them, you know, like, you know how we say like a mom friend, you know, the type of friend who always has like a Tide to go pen in their purse and a snack, you know, like that's kind of your future spouse, you know. They kind of have that energy of like wanting to take care of you, wanting to help you, and that energy would extend to your, obviously like your children if you have children, but it can also extend to your pets, you know. I could definitely see this group being an animal lover. Like I could see your future spouse having a cat or a dog or a fish or whatever that they treat like a child. Like I feel like it's very important for your future spouse to feel like they have something to take care of, you know. And so it could be a plant, it could be a pet, it could be, like I said, taking care of things around the home, and then they also want to take care of you. Like that's just how they are, you know. They want you to see how they love you via the things that they're doing for you. Now, with this romance card, I feel like your future spouse knows how to set a scene. Like they know how to set a stage. Like, you know, if you come home from a long day and they have planned a dinner for you, it would be quite elaborate, okay? Or if you're planning a special evening together, you know, like they would set the stage for that. This is someone who is all about a vibe, okay? So there are candles involved, there are rose petals involved, there is mood lighting, there is music, you know, like the proper, you know, the proper meal has been decided, like there is an element of drama here, like in a good way. There's an element of theater. There is, this is going to be a night to remember. They know how to create a special occasion, and they understand how, this is the type of person who knows how to throw a dinner party. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just do it all, and they're good at it. And this is very much like their wheelhouse. The domestic life, that's where they thrive, that's what they're great at. I'm not saying your future spouse isn't going to have a career outside of the home or anything like that. I'm just saying that in terms of what needs to be done around the house, that's their gig. Like, that's what they're good at. So I could see them working and still managing the household. And a lot of it too, it's sort of like they know how they like things to be done, and they know how they like their home to be, and so they just do it themselves, and then you don't have to do it. And I just feel like that's what they like. They like taking care of people. That's just their deal. And with the doll card here, I do think this could symbolize, again, like children, but I also think of this doll here. She's also in a white dress. And I think of like those porcelain dolls that you put up on like little stands and stuff, that used to be really popular. At least they were pretty popular when I was a kid. Like my grandma was always buying me porcelain dolls all the time. And as I got older, I started to be creeped out by them. I read too many Goosebumps books when I was a kid. But anyway, the doll. You keep the doll in pristine condition, right? Like, this kind of doll is not like a Barbie, right? Like, you keep it on a shelf, you keep it nice. It's meant for looking, it's not meant for playing with. I kind of feel like your future spouse is a bit like that in some regards, of like wanting everything to be nice and pristine. And they want everything to look beautiful. Now, again, I'm not saying you're gonna live in a home that's like a catalog and you feel like you can't breathe in your own space, because again, they're all about coziness and comfort. But I do think that they like things to be clean, they like things to be tidy, and they also are very like detail oriented. Like, I feel like you're gonna live in a home. The home is the most important thing to them. Like, I just want to make that very clear. Like, home in every sense of the word is important to them. Like, you are their home. A sense of belonging is important to them. Memories, family, the actual physical structure, everything is important to them in regards to the home. But even like your coffee maker would be cute. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the attention to detail. Like, everything looks beautiful. Everything is matching, everything is color coordinated. There's a theme, there's a style, there's an aesthetic. Like, all day long, this person understands, like, there's like this Venus Libra kind of energy coming forth from them as well. Like, everything looks like it was chosen with care in your home. There's no clutter, no like unnecessary ugly appliances and things. Like, everything looks pretty. Like, you'll have a pretty toaster, you know what I mean? Like, everything just looks beautiful. Okay, I'm going on and on about this. I also feel like there's a quality to your future spouse that is very sweet and endearing to you. Like, there's just something about them. It's funny because your future spouse really wants to take care of you. Like, that is how they show their love, and that sense of like competency is validating to them. They like to feel useful. This probably goes back to some sort of childhood trauma that they had, but this is just, I'm making light of it. But I think that's just how they receive love and receive validation. But that maternal, paternal instinct that they have naturally. But I think as much as they want to take care of you, they have this quality to them that makes you want to protect and care for them. It's like they're bending over backwards trying to take care of you, and all you see is like this adorable little kitten that you want to snuggle up. So I just think it's a very cute, very sweet dynamic between you two. And maybe you resonate with this energy as well. Maybe you're like, it feels like you're describing myself. And maybe you end up being with someone who is as much of a giver as you are. And that would be great for you, pile 2. There was something else that I was going to say with you all. What was it? Ah, man. Don't leave me now. What was it? Oh, I remember now. There's also something about them being very, this is so specific, this isn't even getting into like the love language anymore. There's something about them loving just the change of seasons. Like, remember how I said they would be really into decorating for holidays and stuff? It feels like even the change of seasons, like your future spouse gets very hyped about this. They're like, oh man, winter. You know, like, okay, now I resonate a lot with your future spouse's energy, I'm not gonna lie. But they're like, oh man, now it's time, we have to go, like, make homemade hot cocoa and make, you know, those, like, chocolate bombs and stuff. Like, now we have to get the million fuzzy blankets that we own out, and we have to, like, make sure we have our Netflix lined up for all the Christmas movies. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like every season is, like, also a celebration within itself, you know? So, like, whatever traditions and things like that that you have in your country, wherever you're living in terms of seasons, or if you're living somewhere where the weather is hot all the time, maybe your future spouse, like, tries to celebrate fall even though autumn isn't even really a thing where you live, something like that. That's oddly specific, but it just feels like they make a big deal about it. Like, they just, I don't know, they just have a very fun, loving energy to them, you know? Like, everything's a celebration, you know? Everything is an excuse to revamp the living room. Like, they just love it. They love the home. Your home is gonna be the most comfortable yet beautiful space ever. Like, people are gonna come over and you're gonna have the best snacks. I think that your kids are gonna have, like, if you have children, I think you're gonna have the house that all the kids want to go to. Like, I think you're gonna have the best snacks, the best games, the best, like, everything just feels very fun and wonderful and comfortable in your home. Okay, so let's get into your tarot now. I almost forgot about the tarot because there were so many messages with your oracle cards. So to recap, acts of service and quality time. This is also just a really reliable person. Like, you can depend upon this person. This person is super loyal, super giving, very compassionate, will make a great parent. That's what I would recap with. Oh, and they're also a little bit of a kid at heart too. All right, pile 2's future spouse. What else do we need to know about their love language, please, Spirit? And your future spouse's higher self is also welcome to come through. A big thank you to my guides and your guides for coordinating these messages. We have Knight of Swords. We have the Lovers. So you definitely could be soulmates. And we have the Four of Pentacles. With this Four of Pentacles, I also feel like your future spouse could be quite thrifty, and they're really great at creating a lot from very little. Not to say that you're going to be financially struggling or anything like that, but I just feel like there's a real creativity to your future spouse. Like, they could put together an outfit, or they could decorate or design a room. They could plan the most beautiful meal, and they could do it on a budget. Like, they're just creative. They're just good like that, you know? Yeah. And I will say also with the Lovers here, it does feel like they anticipate your needs, and they're really great at picking up on that. Pile 1 had a similar energy to this, but it's a little bit different in your group. It's more of like, again, everything goes back to the home with your future spouse. So there'll be things that they buy that you never even really thought of that you would need. That's just going to be super helpful. Like organizers for your drawers, or I don't know, just like a nifty little home gadgets that you didn't even know existed. You know, like those under the counter like hideaway can openers, stuff like that. Like, I know that's so specific, but yeah, just things that you wouldn't have never even thought of purchasing. Like, you open your fridge and you're like, everything is in these beautiful, organized, labeled containers. And there are snacks for the whole week, like already meal prepped and planned and labeled. Like, everything just feels like your life is so easy because you've married like this domestic goddess or god. Like, you know, like everything is just, you're like, wow, you're like Betty Crocker. You know, and again, like, gender doesn't matter here. We're just talking about an energy of like, wow, like you were just good at everything, again, related to the home. And with this Knight of Swords card, I do feel like your future spouse is also really great at communication. And I think that for them, because there's a very like mature energy coming from them, like I kind of feel like maybe, again, this may be specific, but I do think for the majority of you, maybe your future spouse had to be like a parent to their parent, or maybe they didn't grow up in the most stable household. Maybe they moved around a lot. They had a difficult childhood. Maybe they had multiple caregivers. Maybe they had one parent that was totally absent from their lives, or they had a lot of younger siblings to take care of. But it feels like the reason why your future spouse is so skilled, and the reason why they put such a strong value on the home, and even why they're great at budgeting money, is because they grew up in some sort of lack, and, you know, in some way they had to be an adult as a kid. And so that in turn gives them this ability to maturely communicate what they need and their expectations. And I think that's really helpful and really beneficial in any type of relationship, to have someone who can directly communicate their needs and expectations. And it just, I think, again, makes your life a lot easier. You know, you're not having to play guesswork. This isn't someone who would give you the silent treatment for no reason, you know, so yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that. Okay, so we'll end your reading with a message from your future spouse's higher self. What do they want you to know at the time of you watching this reading? I just love like the color story here, like this repeating green, and even like the lovers being in the center here with like Sailor Neptune, which she is like, her thing is like fighting with elegance. Like it does feel like your future spouse is just all about creating a beautiful energy, you know, like in their environment and the vibe and the surroundings, like beauty. They want everything around them to be beautiful and comfortable and cozy. But anyway, yeah, this repeating theme of green with the heart chakra is making me very happy. But let's see. It says surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. Okay, so pile 2, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to simply watch the ads. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a great day, and a huge thank you again to the subscriber who suggested this topic. All right, bye-bye, pile 2. All right, last but not least, if you chose Queen Serenity, you're in the right place, pile 3. So we're doing things a little bit differently today. We're gonna look at your oracle first, and then we will shuffle your tarot on camera. So we have Nurture, Take Your Licks. We have volcano, we have love, Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. We have beauty, I have a form which is divine, I allow what is within to shine. We have communication, effective communication builds a deep bond grounded in common trust and understanding. And we have freedom here. Okay, right away. Your future spouse definitely has a love language of physical touch and words of affirmation. I would say those are the big two for them. Doesn't mean they're never going to express their love in some other way. I just think those are the go-to for them. That's what's most natural to them. And I say that because we have love and beauty next to each other, and we have Aphrodite represented on the love card, and then we also have volcano, and even the nurturing card here. What's this mama cat doing, right? Like she's bathing her kitten. That's showing love through touch. And so it feels like that's really what it is. Like, yes, like they're very physically attracted to you, but this is a beauty that extends beyond, just the physical. It's everything about your energy. It's everything about your essence. Just being in your presence, hearing your voice over the phone would like make their heart race, and so like they just want to touch you, like they just want to feel you. And so this would be the type of partner who would want to hold your hand, that would want to put their arm around you in public, so they could be like into PDA and things like that, public displays of affection. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do. But I think also they would tell you with this communication and the birds here, think of Gemini energy with the birds, like they would just freely express how beautiful they think you are. And, I know beautiful has a connotation of femininity, but we're not talking about any one gender here. We're just talking about an energy of attraction. And so they're very attracted to you, and they would tell you, they would give you compliments on your outfits, they would tell you how beautiful your soul is, they would tell you how beautiful and wonderful you are because you're such a good friend, you're such a good cousin, sister, brother, mother, father, like whatever the case is, whatever roles you play in your life, like they would tell you, wow, you're so great at your job, you're so, like they would just give you compliments, and they would let you know how beautiful they think you are, how attractive they think you are. And there's a lot here with volcano about passion. I think you could just be sitting neutrally, not doing much of anything in some sweatpants, and your future spouse would be over there like salivating over you, and you're like, what is wrong with you? I just woke up, I have bedhead, like I haven't even brushed my teeth yet. Are you serious right now? And they were like, I'm so serious, like I want you. And you would be like, you're a freak. But yes, like they're just so attracted to you. That's coming through like very, very strongly. And even the fact that you chose Queen Serenity, like this is someone who's very graceful and elegant, and someone who is a literal queen. And so there's this element here of them putting you on a pedestal a little bit, this element of them really adoring you, again, like even when you think you look a mess, they think you look gorgeous, or, attractive, handsome, whatever terminology you want to throw in there. But yes, it's very pretty straightforward. With your future spouse, I think they're a very direct person, and the birds are chirping so loudly in your reading. I think that's another thing. I would not be surprised if your future spouse had some Gemini placements in their birth chart, or maybe they have a lot of planets in the third house, but I definitely think there's an element of them being quite charming and knowing the most perfect thing to say to you at any given time. I think even if you're mad at them and you're upset with them, they could probably talk their way out of it by flattering you a little bit. But I do think most of the time, this is just how they express their love to you, and it is from a very genuine place. But yeah, I do think they're quite charming. I think they could definitely sweet talk you a little bit when it suits them. But yeah, they definitely are very physically attracted to you. I don't have to really spend, your reading's probably going to be a lot shorter than the other two groups. I wanted this to be a short reading in general, but yours is such a direct, clear-cut message that I don't really feel like I need to go any deeper into it. I would think in terms of like the physical aspect of your relationship, where there's passion, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep it PG, but I think that that area of your relationship, that component, would be a very important one to your future spouse. If they were mad at you, even then, like, they still would not turn that down. Like, even then, they still would not say no. Like, they just have to feel physically connected to you. You know, like, if you were mad at them and you said, don't touch me, that would just break their heart. You know, like, knowing that you don't even want to hug it out, like, you don't even want them to kiss you or touch you in any manner, that would just break their heart. Like, I don't think that they would be able to leave it like that. Like, I think even in an argument, they would still, like, want to hug it out, at least, you know, like, or just be able to put a hand on your shoulder or something like that. Like, they always want to feel like they can reconcile a disagreement, you know, with that touch, with that physical intimacy. And I just think physical intimacy to them is just kind of like a barometer for where you're at in your relationship. Like, you know, if you were withdrawn and you weren't willing to engage in physical intimacy with them, I feel like that would just destroy them. Like, I don't think that they would be able to handle that. And not to say like they would like push themselves on you or something like that. It's just that that's how that they measure how you're feeling about them. So, like, you know, they would be worried, like, oh my gosh, like, are we gonna get a divorce? Are we not gonna make it? You know, and I'm talking about something that would happen over a long span of time. I'm not talking about you saying no to them one time. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, that's sort of how they measure how close you guys are, is by that physical intimacy, you know? And they need to hear it back, you know? I really do think this person needs to hear it back. Like, they need to hear that you are also attracted to them. Okay, let's get into the tarot now. Pile 3. Your future spouse's higher self is also welcome to come through. But pile 3, please, Spirit. We've got 9 of Pentacles. Your future spouse's love language. We got 2 of Wands. 3. Future spouse's love language. We've got the 4 of Swords. Okay. So, with the 9 of Compacts, this is the 9 of Pentacles in this deck. Any like wishes or desires that you have, they want to make that a reality, whatever that looks like, you know. And Pentacles can talk about anything grounded in reality. So anything that you're wanting, like if you always wanted to go, I don't know, like on vacation, especially given that this is next to the 2 of Wands here. If you always wanted to go on vacation to Greece, you're like, I've always wanted to go to Greece. It seems like the most romantic, most beautiful place ever. I want to go to Greece. They would make that happen for you. That's a really big thing for them, is that they want you to feel like they can fulfill these wishes that you have. You know, they want to go on adventures with you. They want to explore with you. They want to have fun. They want to do things. It does feel like your future spouse is a really active, action-oriented person. Like, as much as they're a smooth talker, I do think that they like to explore and have fun and go on adventures and try new things. But next to the Four of Swords, I also think that they like to relax and they like their leisure time. So this is the type of person who would be totally down to go hike a mountain with you, and then, you know, or go like zip lining, you know, something really active and fun, right? And then the next day go chill at the spa with you, you know, or go lay out on a beach with you. You know, that's just the type of energy. I think they have a really nice balance to them. There's almost like a balance between Sagittarius and Gemini energy here that I'm picking up on. But I do think maybe there's some fire sign energy to them, but also some air sign energy as well. But yeah, I think that they definitely want to have adventures with you, but they also want to just relax and have some nice and peace and quiet alone time together. I think is also important to your future spouse. All right, pile 3, let's end with the message from your future spouse's higher self. What do they want you to know at the time that you are viewing this reading? We have, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Didn't I tell you they were a smooth talker? Didn't I tell you that they were a smooth talker and charming and getting all poetic here? Pile 1 and pile 2 did not get poetic, okay? That's your future spouse's charm all day long. So, pile 3, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to simply watch the ads. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you, and a huge thank you again to the subscriber who suggested this topic. Please take care, pile 3, and I will see you in my next one.